When a team gets reverse swept, it never ends well. The fact that KOI were so close to winning but missed the mark, I don't know a single team that was reverse swept and recovered from it. I wouldn't put KOI as having a strong enough coaching staff to recover from it. KOI needs to have a serious talk about the series and take a mental break from the game. I think if they just go back to regularly scheduled scrims, it can lead to players developing a mental block and their performance as a whole declining. Especially with the fact that now to get into MSI, they most likely have to play against KC, who has had their number this split. Things look dire. That is actually a half paraphrased comment from one of my last videos. I'll move this quickly. The biggest throw in LEC history, which was in reference to the G2 MKOI series from 2 weeks ago. And that series was absolutely devastating. And I was really coping. I was going to make some preview videos this week saying that, I think MKOI can do it. They showed so much promise against G2. I think they can beat KC and, have the resilience. But clearly after the series today, that is just not true. Because in case you don't know, Movistar KOI up against KC today in the lower bracket finals got 0-3'd in horrific fashion. And I mean truly devastating fashion. Excuse me for the burp. And honestly, a conversation that I want to have in the future is a conversation about coaching staff, is a conversation about the kind of gaps where most of these series have just been 3-0s, which is really insane. And I'm curious what that says about the league right now. And finally, I don't know, I want to say something about my little theory about the top of the league being a triangle or a rock, paper, scissors as opposed to a definitive first place, second place, third place. But for today's purposes, let's just talk about this series. So coming into it, of course, we have MKOI, who we're coming off of the 5-game series that I just mentioned, which wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't a reverse sweep. That really just breaks your mental because you were so goddamn close, and you were so goddamn close to winning the series, and you had so many opportunities to close out the series, and you ultimately failed to every single time. And in that same vein, we look at the other side of the bracket, right? So MKOI here in this 5-game series. On the other side, we have KC losing to G2 3-1, but still managing to 3-1 Navi, 3-0 GX, and now 3-0 MKOI, which, again, unexpected. Yes, they beat GX, but they also did this in LEC Versus, and I think any betting person would have put their money on KC to win. But coming into this series, and I watched the entire LEC podcast with Busio and Kalist, they also came in with a lot of confidence that they felt they could not only beat MKOI, but they almost looked like they were looking past them because they also feel they can beat G2. And that being said, G2 has had their number. Whatever. Anyway, let's talk about game 1. So actually, before I get into that, something that I want to say about Carmine Corp in particular is, and I've been dying to point this out, I don't know if I've said this in any of my other videos, is that they remind me so much of Rogue from back in the day, from the 2020, 2021, and arguably 2022 era, when they had Otawamne, Trimby, and Larson, right? Because what they did at that time was, and their coaching staff was pretty consistent here, was they drafted winning lanes. Now, it's kind of ironic or odd to me because I'm well, why doesn't everybody do that, right? And maybe it comes down to the talent of their players, or maybe it really is just coaching staff diff. I know that a few years ago, Rogue's coaching staff won Coaching Staff of the Year. So I think behind the scenes, they're very much credited for putting their team in those positions. And Carmine Corp is much the same. It's actually why I do want to talk about, as a topic, Yike, because back in the day, or a few years ago when Yike was on G2, Yamato Cannon and I Will Dominate said that Yike needed to quote-unquote suffer, because when you have a jungler like that on G2 where you pretty much have the best in role across all of your lanes, when it comes to Hans and Caps and BB, right? Then the jungler gets to thrive, but what really defines a jungler is being able to thrive in an environment where your lanes are not so dominant without you. The thing is, Carmine Corp is literally just another version of G2, even before the Yahoo change. Kalist and Targamas were strong last year, and now with Busio, it is just unreal how strong that lane is. Kana has consistently, at the very least in terms of lane, been considered the best top laner in the LEC right now, or for the last 2 years, especially in lane, like I said. And then Yahoo has also been exceptional to the point that Caps very early on, I believe it was an LEC Versus, but I can't recall if it was just an LEC Versus or if this was said in spring. They asked him, how do you feel about Jojo Pune and Vladdy? And he said, really the ones who pushed me the most in lane are Yahoo and Poby, which is shocking because Poby's also on Navi, which isn't even a top team. And Jojo Pune is known for his laning, so you would expect him to pay some respects and feel challenged by Jojo. But according to Caps, who is our definitive #1 mid laner, Jojo Pune is not really the one pushing him the same way that Yahoo was. And that's why I really don't like Carmine Corp to just go straight off the riff. Bro, it is so fucking lame for our second representatives to have 2 Korean imports. Like, I swear to God, even if they're going to do well internationally, which there's no promise that that's going to be the case, although they probably will do pretty well, it is so annoying to have 2 Korean solo laners. Like, I know I've said this before. Why they had to get rid of Vladdy, I guess I'll have to do my research some other time, but there's no, like, Carmine Corp Reddit, so I can never find out, like, why Vladdy and the Carmine Corp fan base, like, didn't, like each other or whatever. But, man, this roster goes so much harder if they have Vladdy in the mid lane and he was still able to function. And listen, you want to say, yeah, who's better than Vladdy? That's fine. I'm sure frickin' Faker and Chovy and all them and Showmaker would be better than frickin' Vladdy. But that's not why I watch the LEC. I watch the LEC to watch domestic talent. I'm so off topic. I'm just actually, this is genuinely an emotional video. I am really, really upset. Oh my God. Where to begin? So let's go to game 1. So again, with the concept that KC drafts winning lanes for literally all of their lanes, right? So they first pick Orianna. And that's actually a really interesting first pick to me because I have not seen Orianna prioritized in the same way across any other series in the LEC, maybe in the LCK or LPL. It's being prioritized, but whatever. And Jojo Pune goes Akali into it. Now, Jojo Pune has been extremely dominant on his Akali. However, I did say early on, I did feel it was a little bit odd that he didn't have the CC from Alvaro, which I thought was going to be crucial to making that pick work. I did know they had the Ornn and the Pantheon, arguably, but still, whatever. Then we get the Caitlyn kind of like first pick, which is a dominant AD carry, and then Carmine Corp picks Ezreal into it. I was expecting the Karma to be picked from, I'm actually shocked they didn't go Bard. They didn't go Bard all series. Bottom line is, I'm like, I don't mean to go back and forth in the fucking draft because really I'm botching this video low key. The point is, if you just look at the matchups. So Kana gets a winning matchup into Mirwin. Elyoya gets Pantheon, which I really, really like him on, but Skarner has been so dominant, and I have not seen Elyoya play Skarner well. I remember most notably Game 3 of LEC Summer Finals of 2025 when he played it into, I think it was Scumon's Volibear. Am I crazy, or was it the other way around? Hold up. I'm going to pull this up. I'm so sorry, but I got to pull this up. Was it the other way around? 2025 match list, not Worlds. Versus G2, Finals, Summer Finals. Oh, here. Oh, it was Elyoya playing it into Scumon's Volibear. He did horrible on the pick, and I think that's a real liability for MKOI. Meanwhile, Yike and Scumon make this pick look absolutely broken. Even Isma made it. I think Isma played it, and he looked pretty good on it. Jojo Pune picks the Akali confidently into Yahoo, and then Supa and Alvaro get the double range, Caitlyn and Karma into Kalist, Busio, Ezreal, and Nico, which is surprising because a lot of times you would expect Alvaro to go Nico. And I had said in their regular season meeting that for some reason Alvaro goes range supports into KC, but he will go engage supports into G2. And I'm pretty sure Alvaro said in an interview that he finds playing into Hans and Lebrov more intimidating than Kalist and Busio, which it just kind of contradicts the fact that they feel forced to play range supports into Kalist Busio. You could technically read that as, oh, maybe they feel confident that since they're being less pushed, than by Kalista and Busio, that maybe he feels more confident to play his range support picks. But I actually read it as maybe what MKOI is feeling. This is my true opinion because they also played range supports all 3 games. When I think if they slammed an engaged support, this comp would have actually went really hard. And since this video is so weird already, let's just see how turning on my light changes things. I actually think that looks really nice. I think that this shows a real fear from the side of MKOI that if they let Kalista and Busio get ahead, things are going to fall apart, right? So Elyoya focuses all of his attention onto bot in a way I haven't seen in quite some time, right? To the point where Mirwin is just completely on an island. And Jojo Pune was surprisingly on an island, because one of the things about Elyoya that I truly give him so much insane amount of credit for, and you can look at this in LEC Spring 2025 finals or just kind of their entire run when they went on to win that championship, and you can see it in the regular season of or in their series against G2. Elyoya plays so goddamn well around mid, not only in terms of just getting kills, because a lot of times it's not even them getting kills, it is alleviating pressure off of Jojo Pune. So when Caps is kind of pushing up, or you know, like when Jojo Pune's in a losing matchup, Elyoya will hold his wave, he will help him shove, and he will also like kind of neutralize, go for a play onto Caps, etc. Here he did not gank Jojo Pune at all. At all. And Jojo Pune did good given that status, but also I feel like maybe it was also a miscommunication between Elyoya and Jojo Pune, or maybe Jojo Pune didn't realize how much breathing room Elyoya provides him, because he was not playing respectfully given that he didn't have Elyoya to protect him, because Yike was able to get a very early gank onto Jojo Pune. And then on top of that, they burn Yehu's flash, or Yehu burns his own flash to try and get a kill into Jojo Pune, which I think he ultimately successfully does. But then Elyoya goes to punish that with Yehu, and I don't even think they get a successful kill onto him. So it is just really odd. Like, usually the mid-jungle synergy is there, and Elyoya gets Jojo Pune ahead, and clearly the game plan was to play around bot, because they played brilliantly. Elyoya, he did fail some later ganks onto Kalista Busio, but at the beginning they got really good ganks onto Kalista Busio and Yike, specifically with that there was a dive between top tier 1 bot tier 1 and tier 2 where they just on the last bit of damage get the kill onto Kalista. I think Alvaro claims it, and then later on Busio is like trying to contest Tri-Bush vision, and Elyoya is there, and they dive on top of him, get a kill onto Busio and onto Yike. So the bot lane's accelerated, and what they did is they're able to get 2 dragons uncontested, then also rotate the bot, Supa and Alvaro, up to top, get a kill on get a kill onto Kalista, get the grubs. It seemed like everything was working out perfectly. The thing is, this is a lot of single target damage. Mirwin on Ornn was trying to get some ultimates, but at best he would do it really early in the fight, knock everybody up. Literally nobody on the team would follow up. And meanwhile, on Carmine Corp's side, you have Orianna ultimate, Skarner ultimate that can catch multiple people. Kalista was hitting ridiculous ultimates, especially onto Jojo Pune, that shocked me with how much damage they did, because they nearly executed him like 3 times. You have Rumble ultimate and you have Nico ultimate. I mean, literally just AoE city. So despite the massive lead in the early game, especially onto Supa, Jojo Pune was behind, Mirwin was really behind, and Supa really only had single target damage and just completely lost to the kind of AoE CC that Carmine Corp had. The other notable part is that Kana, dude, there's a play. I feel so bad. I don't have the kind of like footage prepared, and I'm not gonna pull it up now. There's a fantastic play over, I think, 3rd or 4th Drake, where Jojo Pune is on the flank, and all Kana is doing is marking him, being like, I see Jojo Pune, I see where he is, and if Jojo Pune tries to get into this fight, I'm going to stop him. The other thing Kana did was his entire job. I'm going to pull it up. So in this team fight right here, look at Kana. Kana is just trying to keep Jojo Pune out of the fight. And then look, he's waiting for this massive ultimate from Yehu. Right, watch. Bam. All Kana needs to do is drop his ultimate right there on top. So it's layered. Yike literally is keeping Mirwin and Elyoya. He's making them look like they don't have any tanky stats. Look how they get shredded. And by the way, Mirwin has, I don't know if at this point if he has 2 items yet, but he is literally exclusively building AP resistant items, and just the Rumble ultimate and Yehu's Orianna ultimate just completely shreds them. I don't know, was Kalist free hitting in that fight? Oh, I guess he was, but still. I mean, it is primarily their damage that was ripping them apart. So rough. Jojo Pune just could not find a flank to save his life. He was also behind, which, you know, for an assassin, it's like you need that damage so that just making punishing one mistake from the side of KC, right? You freaking slaughter one player and now they're down numbers, and you can kind of wait around as your cooldowns come back, etc. But he didn't have that damage, and I mean, I'm trying to think if there was any particular moment, but you know, there was one fight in the top side which was kind of int by Jojo, but whatever, where he, I don't know if I could play, oh, right here, he gets shockwaved by Yehu, and then you see if he had more damage, if he wasn't 1.6k gold behind, maybe he could actually have gotten the kill onto Yehu. That's one of the Ezreal ultimates that I was talking about that nearly solo killed Jojo Pune, and then Kana, bang, just barely gets the ultimate onto Jojo, and he ticks and he dies. I don't really know what else to say. Supa played fucking great, dude. He died one time, and it was in the last dragon fight. And literally just dying once just completely cost him the game. Also, like, dude, literally it's so crazy that we have Mirwin on the Ornn, and meanwhile Yike on Skarner manages to frontline perfectly. And meanwhile we have Mirwin and he's not able, and Elyoya, and they're not able to frontline for Supa to get much damage off in the fights. Oh man, I mean, it's such a bummer, dude. Game 2, dude, so frustrating, man. Yike is like the only engage in this comp. Busio just, dude, I don't know what the hell the difference is, man. First of all, this is where like a lot of desperation started to come out from Elyoya. It was a little bit the case in game 1 when like he had that one bad ultimate on bot trying to find a kill into Kalist, and Kalist was so far back, and so literally they don't even get like a W off or anything. It's just like a pointless play. And here in this game, I mean, Elyoya is like low-key sprinting it like never before. Jojo Pune, because Elyoya's showing attention to other lanes, is also getting freaking caught out in the mid lane. And honestly, not to like do some crazy mental gymnastics here, but like, you know how like, so Naknako is the MVP, Jojo Pune solo kills him, and a lot of people were saying, like Vedius for example, that Jojo Pune was the best player in the LEC right now, and he was the first mid all-pro. I think this is a key example. It's very similar to the old like Niski dynamic, where like Niski would sacrifice to make the jungler look better, and then everybody's so stupid that they just immediately assume Blabber was the MVP, not acknowledging that a lot of it was off of the back of Niski. I think similarly, people were not giving Elyoya the credit for the fact that he is the one that is putting Jojo Pune ahead so many times in the regular season and in their successes throughout playoffs. So as soon as Jojo Pune doesn't have Elyoya, it seems like he completely collapses. Now, I will also say, and again, it's like kind of game planning situations here, but Elyoya is showing all this attention to bot side, and this game is not a perfect example because he also overforced, like I said, and it didn't pan out super well. But that also gave Yike all this opportunity to completely gank Jojo and Mirwin and get Kana and Yehu ahead. There were moments of brilliance where it looked like, there's specifically, it's this one fight way later on. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Check this out. So they're going to take the dragon. It's kind of surprising that despite being down 2 Drakes initially, they really prioritize these dragons. And then look at this odd situation. You have it so separated. Yehu's over here trying to run away from the five main group up of MKOI. You have Yike trying to flank, Kalist shooting from behind, Busio's trying to catch up, and Kana's trying to catch up. And you think that this 5-man group, man, I mean, I don't know what Elyoya's pillar status was, but if you just pillar this Q and you jump onto Yike, Yike is fucking dead. But Yike manages to step away. They play into Yahoo's, what's this champion? Cassiopeia, who, like, dude, this is literally who, I think it was Finn or Jack Spectra that said it, dude. Like, Cassio wants you to play into her because of the grounding and the freaking, is it miasma? I don't know. What am I thinking of? Anyway, her ultimate, right? All of these spells that benefit from when you're playing into her. Bang, she does that. She flashes. Now Elyoya is stuck, not knowing what to do. Alvaro does find a good ultimate here onto Kalist, but then Kalist has flash, and that's the brilliance about Kalist. Kalist only plays far forward when he knows he has, the kind of tools, like, for example, his flash, to get away from, the engage, right? So yes, he does get caught by charm, but now he's able to flash away, and despite Mirwin committing the ultimate, he flashes behind Busio, and Busio eats it for him, plus he had a dash on the Lucian. Everybody turns their attention to try and get onto Kalist Busio, so that means Elyoya is stuck. Elyoya was also slow to rotate a bit, because you see, he's on top of Yike, and then he doesn't know what to do. He should be moving up this way, but I don't know why he's posturing here. Whatever. Oh my god. This was something that I said about GX as well, where they kind of had split focus in the team fights. Now I'm not super familiar with how this comp should be playing and who their target should be in this fight. I think low key you take out Yike here because Yike is the re-engage, right? And I think you get him out, and then the rest, I mean, maybe not, because maybe all Yike has to do is create the distance, right? And then these guys just want to free fire from far away. But yeah, they literally fall apart. Kalist, look how he's just playing inside all the team members like he does not even care. And a part of this is also because despite Mirwin's scoreline, he's literally down 3k gold to Jace. And also, I don't love the way Mirwin was itemizing, dude. He was first itemizing Frozen Heart in this matchup. He picked Hollow Radiance on the Ornn. Meanwhile, this freaking item, where is it? It's the item that Yike got on this one. What is this? What is this item freaking called? Oh my god. Whatever. I'm so sorry, guys. Unhowling Abyss or something like Howling Abyss. What the hell is this item called? I don't remember. Whatever. This freaking item is so ridiculously broken and provides tanks healing. And Mirwin never gets it. He gets Knight's Vow for Supa, even though Supa's playing so safe that I don't think he needs a Knight's Vow to survive. Plus, it doesn't even end up mattering because in the one fight that Supa gets caught out, and Supa played amazing. He played safe, bro. This dude was on his upset shit. Like, he was playing far back in fights. In the one fight he gets caught out, he got popped, and I mean popped within a second. The Knight's Vow didn't do shit. I really think on top of Mirwin's individual performance being super lacking, the itemization was just terrible, and he looked like he really couldn't even take that much damage. They were saying that Kalist was cutting through Mirwin, but I was shocked that even Kana Yehu were also popping through Mirwin's health bar. Like, oh my god, I'm devastated. I'm sorry if the energy is low, guys. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say about this. I'll give some closing thoughts in a second. Here, much the same situation. Jojo Pune gets caught out by Yike and Yehu. Elyoya just starts really badly overforcing. I don't even, like, I've criticized Skewmon for being absent when, like, there's kind of no plays on the map. And I don't know what's worse, being absent or Elyoya in this game and this series kind of like overforcing plays. And really, it just goes into my last read of this team. I don't really want to talk about this game. It's Alvaro on a range support again. My read on the situation, again, God forbid Elyoya is not ganking. I wanted to say that maybe Jojo Pune could be more self-sufficient. But dude, if Elyoya is not ganking his lane, like, what happens? Jojo Pune gets killed. Jojo Pune doesn't play safe. He plays pushed up like he has Elyoya behind his back. He doesn't. And he gets killed. The best mid laners are the ones that, like Faker and Caps, who, when the attention is not on them, they play safe and they waste the enemy jungler and support's time by investing time into the mid lane, but they ultimately don't get a kill. Here, Jojo Pune is basically just freaking bait, man. He gets as soon as he doesn't have the support and the jungler playing for his lane, he gets caught out, man. He's still playing far forward. And what was he playing game 2? Oh, I mean, like Nivea's a little bit safer, but he gets caught out. It's so frustrating. So that was extremely disappointing. And honestly, Jojo Pune seemed to have taken the loss from G2 especially hard. All of them did, but it seemed like Jojo really, really did. And so maybe that's also a part of it, is that he was just off his game. Elyoya had a great game 1, and I think after losing that game, maybe he felt devastated. Mirwin, dude, oh my god. Like, I also think the drafting, dude, MKOI's drafting, that's one thing also, like, I'm just going to criticize. Their drafting, atrocious. Dude, for them to get Ashe Seraphine, which, I mean, maybe that's good drafting or whatever, but to get Ashe Seraphine and to not be able to make it work, to be dominant, dude. Kalista and Busio were perfectly comfortable going Lucian Milio here. And I have not seen the vision in Lucian Milio. I hate this this bot lane duo, perhaps because I was burned by it when Supa and Alvaro played it, I think, in LEC versus playoffs, game 5 against KC, literally. And now I see at least some of the vision that you play it into Ashe Seraphine, because Busio is just straight up removing all the CC through Milio Ultimate and Mikhail's, so Kalist is just able to play extremely freely. I thought you needed Nami to make Lucian function, but man, Busio is showing the proficiency on these range supports. And like I said, I think MKOI showed a fear around playing engaged support, because I think they would have gotten bodied by Kalist Busio, at least in lane for sure. And they didn't have the same confidence that they have in G2, that they could lose lane and fall behind, but then make a really strong comeback. Maybe I'm reading too much into one regular season series, and maybe, you know, that was more a miracle rather than the outright strategy of, you know, of MKOI or whatnot. And I will give them one lick of credit, MKOI, is that they did not lay down and take it, and they didn't sprint it when they were losing these games. It sucks that game 1 they were so disciplined in the early game and had such a lead, and then it fell apart. MKOI almost got MKOI'd by KC, because KC was just like leaning back, and granted they didn't lose top and mid, but they basically were like, oh, we're gonna win team fights, we don't have to worry about bot lane being behind. But yeah, Mirwin just really did not perform in the tanks, I mean, at all, dude. And I know if Mirwin shows up, especially in summer, especially in EWC, especially at Worlds, like, which, you know, I love the guy so fucking much, and I love that he's native EU talent, I love that he's Spanish, but it is really, really frustrating that if this guy doesn't have a goofy pick, and even he got his Annie and it didn't work, if he doesn't have a goofy pick, you gave him Alfari, and he's still not able to do what BB was able to do, which is to just massively improve in lane. I mean, I get it, you know, he's going into Kana, but still, like, this is rough. Yeah, Elyoya, I get it, he wasn't playing amazing, but I mean, to me, it's like, how much time does a jungler have? He commits his time to bot and helps Supa get super far ahead, gets objectives, and his solo laners run it. They get solo killed, you know? They should be aware that they are playing weak side, and they should be able to, you know, survive, play safe, etc. Yeah, man, I mean, maybe like a Mirwin Shyvana would have went hard or something in game 1 or game 2, but they put him on tank duty, and it's just not his role here. If you give Elyoya or MKOI, I'm trying to think of who's like a really good weak side top laner. I don't know, BB freaking did it. Yo, shout out to BB, dude. The versatility that guy shows. I don't know, you give him like, I can only think of like old school tops for some reason. I'm thinking like Odo Omni and Irrelevant. Who the hell is like a weak side top? You give him Wonder. You throw Wonder on this roster, and Wonder is not playing very well. But like, you give him like a Fnatic 2022 Wonder, who's like the weak side king, can draw like 3, you know, a mid laner and a jungler and a top laner trying to dive him, and he survives it. Like, that's some shit that MKOI needs here. But Mirwin, man, he's just not playing to his strengths, and on tanks, he's a straight up liability. I think you give him Shyvana or some other pick. His Sion ultimates were bad. His Ornn ultimates were bad. Oh my god. Jojo Pune again, really disappointing that you give him, like, literally, if you take Elyoya away, dude, he does not look like the number one mid laner right now. And I know, again, Elyoya did poorly, but still, Supa is the one that comes out of this looking the best, dude. Supa looked great. I don't think he looked bad in any of the games, personally. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but I don't think he did that bad. I think Alvaro on the range supports, I think, like, he is clearly missing a concept on range supports. Maybe it's not Alvaro's fault. I don't think he's horrific at range supports, especially how he played today, but I don't think he knows how to make plays on the map the same way that he knows how to make plays on the map with engaged supports. I truly, this series made me feel like, yeah, KC is just their kryptonite. I think Kana exposes Mirwin too hard. Yahoo, I don't know that he exposes Jojo, but he exposes that if Jojo doesn't have Elyoya babysitting, he falls short. And Kalis Busio force, it seems, MKOI to have to play range supports. Otherwise, the bot lane, their bot lane's going to fall too far behind. They're going to get, Supa's going to get dove or whatever. And they're going to bleed too much. The only last thing I can say about MKOI is obviously they were not in top form, you know? I will give it to KC. I'm not going to say that MKOI played so horribly that it's not kudos to KC. It is kudos to KC. It's especially kudos to their drafting. It's especially kudos to everybody on that team. Kana and Yahoo for outclassing Mirwin and Jojo Pune, and Kalist and Busio for literally neutralizing MKOI's bot lane, despite the fact that Elyoya was bringing all his attention there. You would expect them to get massive leads, but Kalist was not absent, bro. Kalist and Busio, despite being slightly behind, managed to be super relevant here. I hope to God you guys found something informative or entertaining about this video. Like I said, I am just devastated. Devastated. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I should have even made a message at the beginning of the video to subscribe. Please do. Now the only thing I have left for you guys is as a straight up KC hater. I knew this was a bad omen. My G2 jersey arrived. It is absolutely stunning, gorgeous, love it. And I like Skewmon, but I like myself more. So we got Tough Leader with the Cuban flag in the back and the number 10 because that's my favorite number outside of, I guess I'd probably put 1 on my back. But anyway, rooting for G2 tomorrow, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I absolutely will see you guys tomorrow. I'm making a video. I hope to God G2 smashes, and I mean smashes KC, dude. I want them to 3-0 them. 3-0 KC, please. I can't do it. I like Kalist, I like Yike, I like Busio, but I don't not like Kana and Yahoo, but I just want domestic talent. Peace out, boys. Sorry for a scuffed video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.